a 29.7% increase to SSI, supplemental security income, and why this is an absolute must-have for the beneficiaries. I have all the details and exactly what you need to know right here in the video. Let's get into it and discuss what's going on. First off, everything I'm talking about here in this video directly pertains to SSI and the nearly 8 million beneficiaries that rely on these monthly benefits every single month. Also, let's quickly talk about SSI for just a minute here. When this program was started over 50 years ago, back in the early 70s, what was the purpose of this program? I'll just tell you, anti-poverty. That's literally the purpose of this program when it was started over 50 years ago by Richard Nixon, okay? The whole purpose was basically those adults who are aged 65 or older, who have limited income, limited resources, to give them basically a monthly income floor, and that's essentially what this is, right? To basically help them out, give them a monthly stipend so that they do not need to be reliant on others, as in friends and family, for financial needs. Also, those individuals under the age of 65 with limited income, limited resources, and a disability also would be eligible to receive this. That's literally the purpose of this program 50 plus years ago. However, over that same amount of time, I think they have lost a little bit of focus here on the overall program, because that's exactly what we can see in the monthly benefit amounts as well. So anyway, that's what I want to share with you here in the video as far as all these dollar amounts, and again, a 29.7% increase to these monthly benefits, and why I said earlier, it is an absolute must-have for the beneficiaries. Let's talk through it. However, can I ask a huge favor of you? Please make sure to like the video with the big thumbs up button down below. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. Also, if you're new here or if you haven't done so yet, please make sure to subscribe as well. Again, big subscribe button down below the video. Thank you so much. Really appreciate your support, and let's talk through the details. All right, so first off, I think this is an obvious question, but let me just ask it anyway. Do you think a 29.7% increase to your monthly benefit for SSI would be maybe, I don't know, a little bit helpful right now? Yeah, absolutely. Which, by the way, I want to talk about, well, I'm going to be referring to, I should say, the 2025 monthly benefit. So obviously we're still a couple weeks out here from the new year, but I want to talk about the new benefit amount for an individual and a married couple, the $967 and $1,450. Those are the new benefit amounts for 2025. And then I also want to take into consideration the current levels that we're at right now for the federal poverty line. But however, I want to show this to you really quickly as well. These numbers will be increasing quite a bit. So this 29.7% that I'm referring to here in this video, honestly, in just a couple weeks here, that'll be ratcheting up to probably 32, 33, maybe 34% even by the time we roll over to the new year. So it's going to be nuts, right? Anyway, let me share with you the details behind this. Okay, so let's talk through a bunch of numbers here. Okay, so right now, or what I should say, starting at the beginning of the new year for 2025, the new maximum benefit for an individual is $967. The maximum benefit for a married couple is $1,450. However, now let me share with you some other details. Right now, again, this is the 2024 number, but it will be increasing as of the new year. The federal poverty line on a monthly basis right now is $1,255 for an individual, or $1,703 on a monthly basis for a married couple, okay? So do those numbers ring a little bit of a bell? Yeah, they probably should, because here's why. You just heard me say the maximum benefit for an individual is $967, but yet the federal poverty line for an individual is $1,255 based on the 2024 numbers. What is that? It's a discrepancy of $288 a month is how much SSI benefits are essentially below the federal poverty line on a monthly basis for an individual right now, okay? It's a lot of money. $288 a month is how much they're below the federal poverty line. Now get this, a married couple, okay? Married couple, maximum benefit for 2025, again, $1,450. However, you also heard me just say the federal poverty line based on 2024 numbers for a married couple is $1,703. Again, a discrepancy of $253 a month. So that is how much married couples are below the federal poverty line on a monthly basis. $253, or a little over $3,000 a year is according to these numbers. But again, remember, the federal poverty line will be adjusting higher as of 2025. How much? We don't know quite yet. I would bet anywhere between about 3 and 5%, somewhere between that range is how much is going to increase again. So these numbers will even be higher as far as how much benefits need to be increased here, okay? So that's massive. Now get this as well. Remember, the purpose of the program, as I mentioned near the beginning of the video, the purpose of the SSI program was to keep people from going into poverty. This was literally the purpose of the program, anti-poverty program, to make sure, again, those adults age 65 or older with limited income, limited resources, would have an income floor, essentially keeping them out of poverty. Well, that was the whole purpose, right? And again, people under the age of 65, giving them this income floor, basically a monthly stipend, that's literally what SSI is, to give them money to keep them above the federal poverty line. Well, as you just heard these numbers here, we are significantly below the federal poverty line. In fact, right now, according to the 2025 benefit amounts and the 2024 federal poverty line numbers, individuals are 29.7% below the federal poverty line as an individual receiving SSI. That's massive. That's nearly 30%, right? 29.7% below the federal poverty line. That's crazy. In other words, we would need to get an increase of about $300 or more per month for 2025 just to lift SSI beneficiaries up to the federal poverty line. And remember, I just said this a minute ago, but I'm going to say it again really quickly. The federal poverty line will be increasing for 2025. How much? We don't know quite yet, but this will just simply make the spread between the maximum benefit and the federal poverty line even greater. You kind of see all that? That's nuts, right? So that means by the time that we get this adjustment to the federal poverty line, the individual benefit will probably need to be somewhere around $300+ more per month just to be at the federal poverty line, okay? Now get this as well. Right now in the United States, as we approach basically the very end of 2024, there's about 11 million seniors, a little bit less than 11 million seniors currently living in poverty, okay? That's nuts. 11 million seniors in poverty in the United States. Collectively, there's about 40 million people of all ages living in poverty in the United States. That's crazy, right? So just think of it this way. What do some, lawmakers and people like that, what do they want to do? Well, I guess I'm not sure what their real intentions are, but one thing that they do talk about is we've got to eradicate poverty. We've got to eradicate homelessness. Okay, well, let's look at what they're doing versus what they're saying, because we can sit here and say anything we want, but what we're doing makes a much bigger difference, right? But let me just say this much as well. There is proposals out there. There's proposals out there to actually raise SSI up to the federal poverty line, okay? This would be a massive win. Think of this. If they were to raise SSI benefits up to the federal poverty line, right now there's about 7.5-ish million people, give or take a little bit. It oscillates all the time. But just say 7.5 million for just easy rounding purposes here. People that receive SSI every single month, okay? So if they were to raise SSI benefits up to a minimum of the federal poverty line, which would again be based on the 2024 numbers, a minimum of $1,255 a month for an individual, or a minimum of $1,703 a month for a married couple. Those would be the federal poverty lines on a monthly basis for those groups, okay? If they were to raise the SSI benefit to a minimum of those thresholds, this would instantly lift every single SSI beneficiary out of poverty and at least to the federal poverty line. So therefore, based on the roughly 40 million people that we currently have living in poverty in the United States right now, guess what? Now we'd be sitting at about, 32.5 million. That'd be a massive increase, you know what I mean? As in people being lifted out of poverty. That would be a huge, huge, huge win, and it's honestly not even that hard to do. But here's the thing. This was the entire purpose of the SSI program from back in the day when they started this thing 53 years ago now is when they started SSI. This was the whole purpose. This was not supposed to happen in the first place at benefits being where they are. So now you might be wondering, okay, what happened to SSI and why is this program so far behind? Here's why. I've mentioned this before in other videos, but I want to throw it out there really quickly, which is this much. Let's just say that the SSI benefit falls behind the real cost of living by, say, 0.5%, 0.7%, 1%, 1.1%, 1.2%, 2%, something like that, each and every year. And that's compounded over 52 plus years. Now we have a major problem, and benefits are behind by nearly 30% as of right now. That's how that happens. A little bit and a lot of time equals a huge discrepancy. That's the same thing. It also happens the other direction. Why I've talked about before in other videos, I've said Social Security benefits are significantly below where they really need to be because why? The COLA does not keep up with real cost of living adjustments and real inflation, real price increases on goods and services. It might only be behind by 0.2%, 0.5%, 0.8%, 1% a year. It's only a little bit, but when you take that little bit, compound it over 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 plus years, now we've got a massive problem on our hands, and why fixed income benefits are well below where they really need to be. Does that make sense, right? It's literally the purpose behind this. So anyway, I wanted to bring this to your attention, but remember, this 29.7% as far as how much benefits would need to increase, or they're below the federal poverty line, I should say, that right now, that would increase. I'm going to bet that increases to probably around 32 to 34% by the time we get the new federal poverty line numbers in a couple weeks from now, okay? It's nuts. That's a huge, huge, huge discrepancy. No wonder why so many people are falling behind financially. And again, yeah, you'll get your 2.5% COLA. Wow. Yeah, what are you going to spend your $3 on? You know what I mean? It's a little bit more than $3. I'm exaggerating here a little bit, but you get my point, right? So that's kind of the situation. Yet again, do we think that inflation was above or below 2.5% over the last year, as in real price increases, not what they tell us, real prices increases on everything, utilities, healthcare, medical premiums, glasses, medical checks, clothes, shoes, food, shelter, gas in your car, insurance on your car, insurance on your home or apartment, whatever it is, right? Yeah, it's way more than 2.5%, but that's what we get, right? So anyway, I hope this helps you. Again, I want you to understand these numbers and see how these programs are failing. This is how the program is failing. This right here, okay? The exact numbers and the exact explanation that I gave you in this video, this is the problem. Anyway, I hope this helps you to some degree. I'm here for you in any way that I possibly can be. Again, please make sure to like the video down below. Thumbs up button. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Subscribe as well. Totally free to do so. Big subscribe button down below. Check out the other 5,000, well over 5,000 videos here on the channel in the video library down below. In the description or the top of the comment section, a bunch of videos there. I've hand-selected popular videos for you there. Check those out. Otherwise, right now, showing up on your screen as well, you'll see some videos there. Thanks again. Really appreciate it. Have a nice day, and happy holidays, right? Anyway, I'm here for you. Please, just have a nice day. That's really all that matters these days. And